What's up, everybody? Interesting interview of Stephen A. Smith on the Ball Brothers podcast. You got Lonzo Ball and his brother. They got a basketball podcast, which I wasn't aware of. They supposedly started about a year ago. So they bring on Stephen A. Smith, and they have this game going on, and they ask him questions of things that he said in the past. And the game goes, are you doubling down on what you said or you backing down? And Stephen A. Smith's like, let's play. Let's go. So it was interesting. And then the question comes where they ask him, do you still think that LeBron James is stat padding to be the GOAT? Stephen A. Smith thinks for a second or two and says, you know something? I'm doubling down on that 100%. And then he kind of explains his point, why he's doubling down on that statement. So I'm going to let you listen to him give his argument, and then I'm going to come back and kind of give you my opinion on it. So take a listen.
LeBron is stat padding to be the GOAT.
I'm doubling down on that. Who the hell don't know that? But by the way, I don't mean it. Listen, I'm not saying it in a negative way that it's embraced. When you exist this long, all right, and you're still playing, we don't look at the Lakers and see a championship team. You ain't beating Oklahoma City. You ain't beating Denver. All right? I don't think you're beating Houston with four dudes starting at 6'11" or above. Okay? After watching Wembanyama last night, you might not beat San Antonio. I mean, I'm looking at these things and I'm saying, okay, well, you know, you're in your 23rd year. You understand? And you accumulating all of these stats. You know, you're the all-time leading scorer now. You passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're going to your 21st All-Star game. You're doing this. You're doing that. Fine. Because you ain't winning another league MVP. That ain't going to happen. All right? You ain't winning another finals. That ain't happening. So you there because you're going to accumulate these numbers. And by the way, he deserves it. Go get it. And get paid, too. Because I think the $52.6 million that he opted in for, LeBron is worth more than that. He's worth every penny. All right? Give him his money. But along the way, just understand that it don't buy you GOAT status. You're not getting that.
So who's your GOAT?
Michael Jordan.
Unquestioned.
Without question. I've been saying that since the man retired, and ain't a damn person changed my mind.
Top three.
Top three all time? Okay. I would tell you Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Can we say why you think MJ's the GOAT?
Okay. Since you ask. 6 championships, 6 NBA Finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, never allowed the game to go to a game 7 of an NBA Finals, 10-time scoring champion, 9-time All-NBA defensive first team player, steals champion, former Defensive Player of the Year award winner. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Oh, by the way, played all 82 games about 7 to 8 times. Really? That's what we really having this kind of discussion? That we gonna really sit here as people who have watched tape, who have watched Michael Jordan play, knowing the culture that exists in the NBA and how it's changed. And by the way, I don't mean this in a negative way in terms of softness, but the game is called softer.
So you heard what he said. Stephen A. doubles down on saying LeBron is stat padding to be the GOAT. LeBron is accumulating all these stats, he said, because that's all he can do. He's not going to win another MVP. He's not going to win another NBA title or anything like that. That's all he can do to build up his stats. but he will not buy himself GOAT status. And he says he's making 52 million. He deserves all the money, all that stuff and everything. But the money and the stats will not buy him GOAT status in the NBA. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get his numbers as high as he possibly can. So there's no comparison when somebody just looks at straight stats. That's pretty much what his approach is right now. Then he gets asked if LeBron James can't buy to be the GOAT, who is the GOAT? And of course, he gives the answer that he always gives, which is Michael Jordan. Now, he mentions his top three also because he's asked about that, which is Jordan, LeBron, and Kareem. And I'm super surprised he left out Kobe out of that, to be honest. But I'm not knocking Kareem or anything. I think Kobe should be in that top three, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say who I think should be out of that top three, but most of you and most of my listeners should kind of figure that out on their own. Now, he also mentions why he thinks MJ is the GOAT. He mentions his 6 titles. He mentions his 6 finals MVPs, 5 league MVPs, NBA defensive player, which I think Stephen A missed here, 10-time NBA scoring champ, 9-time NBA All-Defensive First Team participant. And he did miss one thing here also. In the GOAT conversation, and to be able to be the GOAT, your character and mentality matters. He did miss one thing. Jordan was never afraid of competition in anything, even things that he wasn't good at. As a team, he might not have had the support for a few years and got bounced out to playoffs, but every single player gets bounced out to playoffs. But Jordan never had a playoff series himself that was bad. He never had a playoff series that he himself did not show up. Period. He also said he wasn't afraid of any competition. We know LeBron was afraid of the dunk contest. And we have multiple players saying this now, even Draymond Green, who is actually close to LeBron these days. He was afraid to take part in the dunk contest, in the dunk competition, because he was just scared of a loss. He was scared of that being on his resume, that he took part and he would have lost. And that would have been something that could have been compared with him and Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan never lost in the dunk competition. MJ won the dunk contest twice, but also took his ass to a 3-point contest, which he didn't practice. He wasn't good at in the league at the time. And to this day, he has the worst shooting record in that competition out of everybody in the NBA history. And so what? What counts is he might have expected that, but he still tried it. You try even though you might fail. LeBron James just never tried because he was afraid to fail. Simple as that. MJ never had a bad series while LeBron had bad series and even had multiple NBA finals, which he didn't show up in on the biggest stage. 2011 against Dallas was the biggest one, and LeBron is on video saying his mind just wasn't in it. It wasn't there. Like, really? A potential guy that wants to call himself the GOAT, a GOAT candidate, let's say, gets in the NBA Finals, and his mind wasn't in it. There's no tragedy in his life. There's no family member death, whatever it might be. And his mind wasn't in it. That is discrediting him from the conversation on its own. I mean, how can a guy that wants to be called the NBA GOAT and considered the greatest NBA player of all time go into the NBA Finals and say, you know, my mind just wasn't in it? That is just ridiculous to me. He left teams. He joined up with his competition. GOATs don't join up with competition. They beat it. Simple as that. That's my opinion on this. and what Stephen A. Smith said in this whole GOAT conversation again. So let me know what you guys think. Comment section's open. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.